There we go. There's our mental maths for today. So there's some sums. Today I mixed them up, some decimals with other addition sums. So you need to be wide awake. And I'm going to give you 3 minutes to do these. And those 3 minutes, remember, don't put your answers in the chat. Just do them there where you are, quietly on your own. Write them down on your paper. And when the 3 minutes is up, we're going to go over the answers. You can see how you did. All right, everyone get ready. 3 minutes, and there you can start. And we are halfway, 1.5 minutes left. Okay, and time is up. I wonder how that went. Okay, let's see. There, you can check your answers. Hi, Tandal, where to? I wonder how that went. I think that was a fairly straightforward exercise, but who knows? Check your answers and then remember to say however many you attempted and how many you got correct. Nice, Asize. Segofatso, hi. Tandal Wait, we got 10. Sorry about that, Dora Jane. Mr. Hugo, is the waiting room disabled? Maybe just check.
Yes, it is disabled. I saw a few students got stuck there while it was disabled, but everybody's in now.
Okay, thank you. Nice. Look at these marks, everybody. Well done. I trust there were no calculators involved. 5 out of 5. Yes, Vuyiswa, this really gets your brain going. I could just see on the video how everyone was working and thinking. Literally smoke coming out. Hi, Unati. Wonderful. Great, guys. So now that we are all warmed up and ready, we can carry on with the rest of our lesson. And all we're basically going to do today is go over everything we did in this course of lessons on decimals. So we're going to start by just revisiting how to convert a common fraction to a decimal to a percentage. I'll do the first one with you, and then you can try the rest on your own. So 4/5, we said as a decimal, what we can do is first write that common fraction with a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000. So to make that denominator another way to think of it is to change my fifths into tenths. I'm going to cut up my fifths again in half. So that's going to mean I'm actually going to times it by 2 to get 10. And if I times the 5 by 2, then I times the 4 by 2 as well. So that's 8/10. So that means as a decimal, it needs to be 0,8. And then as a percentage, we can just times that by 100. That's one way of thinking about it. Timesing your decimal by 100 to get your percentage. Or percentages are just another way of writing hundreds. So this will be 80%. And then similarly, you can work backwards to get your decimal fraction and to get your common fraction. All right, do the first one. And as soon as you have an answer, put it in the chat. What is 15% as a decimal and as a common fraction? Put it in the chat as soon as you've worked it out. Remember, if you are saying, I don't understand, just help us to know what it is that you don't understand by saying, I don't understand how to write a percentage as a decimal, for example, or how to write a common fraction as a decimal. So be specific so that I know how to help you. So write that in the chat. And remember, we do question time later on. Okay, so 15% as a decimal will be 0,15. Because if I have 15% to write that as a decimal, you can think of it as 15 hundredths. And 15 hundredths as a decimal is 0,15. Or you can just divide the 15 by 100. So there's many ways to do this. Percentages, remember we learned that the percentages is just another way of writing hundreds. So 15% is 15 hundredths, which is a decimal is 0,15. And if you have 0,15, you can write that is 15 hundredths. So you write that as 15 over 100. But that can simplify. What can that simplify to? I see a few people have attempted. What can 1500 simplify to? Tandilwetu says 3/20. Okay, let's see how we do that. What can go into 15 that can also go into 100? And that would be 5. So if 5 goes into 15, you get 3. And if 5 goes into 100, you get 20. So that's 3/20. So you can start off by writing it as 1500s, but then you have to simplify. Okay, let's try the next one. So we have the decimal fraction is 0.6. What is that as a common fraction and what is that as a percentage? Put your answers in the chat. Let's get some more answers, guys. Whoa, we're already 80 people, so there should be lots of answers coming in. Post your answers in the chat. If you're putting a percentage, then remember to include the percentage sign. 60%. Very nice. And how will you find the common fraction? Simplify. Some of you are saying 6/10. That's perfect, but we need to simplify. And again, so you go, what goes into 6? That also goes into 10. The biggest number that can go into 6, that also goes into 10, and that's 2. So 2 goes into 6 3 times, 2 goes into 10 5 times. Okay. Great. Let's go on to the next one. Is there any difference between the one we just did, the third question, and this fourth one? Is there any difference between those two questions? Yes or no? If you're saying yes, maybe you mean there's a 0 after the 6, but there's a 0 after the 6 here as well. We just didn't write it. So these two questions are in fact exactly the same. This is 60%, and this is going to be 3/5. Okay, let's do the last one. 100% as a decimal fraction and as a common fraction. So think of your test. If you get 100%, what does that mean? You got all the marks on your test, all of them. So what is that the same as? So 100%, if we write 100% as hundreds, it's 100 hundredths. So what is that as a decimal? If you get 10 out of 10, guys, you don't get 0.1, then you're being shortchanged. If you get 10 out of 10, you get 100%, and that means everything. That is 1. And you can write it as 1,0. And what is that as a common fraction? That's right. 100% is the whole. It's everything. So 100% is 1, 1,0 as a decimal, and it's 1 as a common fraction. Okay. Right, we're going to do some patterns and some counting next. So we're on number 2A. As soon as you have your answers, put it in the chat. You have to complete the whole pattern, not just the first one. That is 0,8. Complete the whole pattern. So for question B, if you there already, so what are we going up by? If we count from 1 to 1,25, then we've gone up by 0,25. And then if we go from 1,25 to 1,5, then we've gone up by another 0,25. So each time to complete the pattern, we're going to go up by 0,25. Okay, put your answers in the chat for 2A if you're done with it. You can just type it as the number, semicolon, and then like that. You can type it like that in the chat. So after 0,8, it will be 1, and then 1,2, etc. So put your pattern in the chat. Anyone who is brave can also put their pattern for B in the chat. The whole pattern, Lebogang, all the way to the end. Yes, after 1,4 you get 1,2, you get 1,4, but I want all the numbers that's missing, not just the one. Nice, so Sunday. Good work. And Katlego. Just remember, Katlego, our point for decimal must be a comma, but that's not a problem for now. I'm sure you'll remember next time. Okay, let's see if we can do this last one for question B. I'm just going to put it here and you can check if yours is correct, just to speed things up a bit. 1,5, 1,75, then we've got 2, 2,25, 2,5, 2,75, and then 3. And then 3,25, 3,5, 3,75, 4, and then 4,25, 4,5, and 4,75. Okay, put a thumbs up in the chat if you got 2B correct the whole way. Some of you are saying you don't understand 2B. We are just going up in 0,25s. So it's like counting in 25s, but just in decimals. So from 1,5, we put another 0,25, and that's 1,75. And then if we put another 0,25, then we get 2, 2,25, 2,5, 2,75, etc. So it's the same as counting in 25s, but just with the decimal. Okay, good stuff. We're going to skip these number lines for now. We might get back to them later. I just want you to do this last one. Which fractions match which decimals? So common fractions matching with decimals. Let's start with this first one. 1 and 36/100ths. Which decimal number is it going to match with? You can just put the decimal in the chat. Choose from these ones here, hey? Yes, that's going to go with 1,36. 84/100ths, what is that going to match with? 0,84, this one here. And then 14ths, what will that match with? Yes, we get 0,4. And then 80/100ths, is it going to match with 0,08 or with 0,8? It's 80/100ths, so think carefully. If it's 100, how many places must there be after the decimal? There needs to be 2 places because it's hundredths. The hundredths place is this one here. So as a decimal, we write it like that. Okay, great, everybody. Let's move on and practice our adding of decimals. And I just want to show you another way to do it today, which is by rounding. It's called rounding and compensating. Those are just big words. I'll show you what it means. So here we've got a menu with some food on it. There's a milkshake for 16 Rand 99 and cool drink for 8 Rand 97, chips for 14 Rand 98, and a burger for 25 Rand 95. Okay, so John bought a milkshake and Jason bought a cool drink. How much did they spend all together? So a milkshake costs 16 Rand 99 and a cool drink costs 8 Rand 97. So here's our sum. We're going to add the 16.99 plus the 8 Rand 97. Now, these numbers are a little bit difficult to work with, but do you notice that 16 Rand 99 is only 1 cent away from 17, and 8 Rand 97 is only 3 cents away from 9. So what we can do is say, let's round the 16 Rand 99 to 17. I'm just going to get my highlighter out. To 17. And we basically go and borrow that 1 cent that we used to make up the 17. We go and get that from the 8 Rand 97 to get, and that goes to 8 Rand 96. When we put that together, now that's very easy because we've got a whole number, 17 plus 8 Rand 96. So to put that together now, to add it, is quite straightforward. We're just going to say 17 plus 8 gives me 25, plus the 96 cents is 25 Rand 96. Okay. I'm not sure how people are getting different answers here while I'm still explaining. Maybe you're doing it some other way, but be careful because I think there's mistakes creeping in. Your answer must be 25 Rand 96. Okay. Let's do another one. I'm going to do one from the examples here. So here we've got 15 Rand 98 plus 14 Rand 98. Now, these are difficult to work with because they're not nice round numbers. So what we can do is say, let's take from the 14 Rand 98. I'm going to take 2 cents from 14 Rand 98 because if I take that 2 cents, I can fill up the 15 Rand 98 and make 16 Rand. But remember, I took 2 cents from 14 Rand 98, so that is 14 Rand 96. Now that's easy to add together because I've got 16 Rand. And to it, I add 14 Rand 96. So 16 plus 14 gives me 30 plus the 96 cents. Okay, so that's another way that you can do decimals by rounding and compensating. So rounding means I round it up, but I take from the other number because I can't just add two numbers. I need to keep everything the same. Okay, I'll do one more, question B, and then I want you to try one. 23 Rand 99 plus 11 Rand 99. And to make this easier, I can take the 23 Rand 99 to 24 by borrowing 1 cent from 11 Rand 99. So that goes down to 11 Rand 98. So that's the important one, the important thing that you have to notice. So we make this number easier to work with. We make it a whole number basically by borrowing a little bit from the other number. So 24 plus 11, that gives me 35 Rand, and I've got another 98 cents. Okay. Right, now I want you to do C, and as soon as you have an answer, you can pop it in the chat. Yes, that's a good way of putting it, Teacher Hugo. Make one number easy to work with and take some from the other. Big word for this is rounding and compensating, but that's what it comes down to. Perfect. Let's try C, and I want you to try it this way. I know you all know column addition, and that's fine, but it is really good in maths to know different ways of doing things, not just one way. Plus, column addition is going to take about double the time this takes. So let's try it this way. Okay, while people are working on C, I'll take 1 or 2 questions. If you are done with C, feel free to carry on. There's all the way to H. Let's hear what Unati has to say.
Let me first start off saying hi, ma'am.
Hello.
Ma'am, can I do it in my own method because I can't understand your method?
Is that the column method that you want to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, come, let's try this method. Let's try something different. I'm going to do C. I'm going to go over C, all right? And then you can listen again. So the first thing we have to do, the 24.99 plus 14.98. Okay, so Unati, we're going to make this 24.99. We're going to round it to 25. Do you understand why we do that? Unati, can you?
Yes, ma'am, I can hear you.
So is 25 not easier to work with than 24.99?
Oh.
Not?
It
Are you
is,
sure?
ma'am.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Okay, but do you see how we've added 1 cent to make it 25? And we basically go and we take that 1 cent from the other number, from 14.98. So if I've taken 1 cent from 14.98, it goes down to 14.97. Are you still with me?
Yes, ma'am, I'm still with you.
Okay, so what will my final answer be now?
Ma'am,
Yes.
what did you say again, ma'am?
I asked what the answer will be now. We've been working it out. Here it is, 25 plus 14.97. So if you add that, what do you get?
Okay, now wait, ma'am. 7, 8, 19, 11. 19, 11. 12. Right. It's 15,22, ma'am.
So we're going to add 25 and 14.97.
I calculated, ma'am.
Yeah, say again.
I calculated it, ma'am. It's 15,22.
Okay, I think you need to have another look. Let's look. So we take the 25 and we're just going to add the 14 to it. What is 25 plus 14?
Oh.
Yes,
39.
everyone else, you can carry on. That is 39. But we still have the comma 97. So we add the comma 97 at the end as well.
Oh, now I see.
You see, so try something new, Nati. Try doing it maybe in a different way. All right.
Sure, ma'am. Bye.
Bye. Okay, there's D, everyone. You can go on to question D. There is question C's answer, 39.97. And you can do question D next. And if you're working fast, go ahead to E as well. Okay, we've got trauma. How do I say your name? You can unmute.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi there. How do I say your name?
It's kind of like you, ma'am.
It's what?
Kind of like a stable. It's kind of like you, ma'am.
Oh, it says something else here on your username. Okay. Anyway, ask your question.
Ma'am, I wanted to ask, what do we do if the number behind the comma is more than 100?
Oh, then you make the numbers in front of the comma bigger.
Okay, ma'am.
Which one are you doing? Which one are you doing?
You're kicking, ma'am.
Which question are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing one on my book, my school book.
Oh,
I'm
you
already
must.
done age.
Oh, have you already done all of these? Wow, that's very fast. We're gonna see now if you're right. Okay.
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 Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye, Mom.
Right. Let's go to question D. So put your answer in the chat if you have an answer for question D. I think we just need to mute. Okay. Put your answer in the chat for question D. Let's see. Okay, so 32,97 is really close to 33, and it would be much nicer to work with 33. So I'm going to take 3 cents from the 25,97 and make that 25,94. And then I add the 33 with the 25,94, and that gives me 58,94. Okay, let's do one last one. Question E. If you have an answer for question E, put it in the chat. Okay, so 32 is going to be much nicer to work with. So I'm going to take 1 cent from 23,95 and make it 23,94. Put everything together. 32 plus 23 gives me 55. Yep, 55,94. 55,94. We are getting some very different answers, guys. So please check where you are going wrong and let us know if there is something you need help with or need clarifying. Okay, so this is, it makes it so much easier, right? Then those columns and the, yeah, it's confusing sometimes. All right. We're gonna, you can take a screenshot of the rest of the questions if you want to try them on your own, if you want to try them on your own later. And then we're just gonna, I think, to end off, do some multiplication. Okay, so 2 seconds for screenshots. And here we go. Okay. Remember, when we say it's hard, we also say that it's going to take some effort, but we will learn it in the end. Okay, so if we multiply 46 by 0,1, what do we get? (46) times 0,1. Is everyone stumped? Funo says 4,6. Anyone else? Let's get some answers. That is 4,6. That's right. Okay. And if we multiply 84 by 0,1, what do we get? (84 by 0,1 is going to give you 8,4. 150 times 0,1, what do we get? look what we did in the previous two questions. It's the same pattern. So if 46 times 0,1 gives you 4,6, and 84 times 0,1 gives you 8,4, then we only move the decimal place once. So what is 150 times 0,1 then going to be? That's right, it's going to be 15. Just look at the pattern at what we did with the previous two questions. 46 to 4,6, 84 to 8,4, 150 to 15. Then what is 356 times 0,1 going to be? Of course, we add the comma. We move the comma of the input number. It is going to be 35,6. And then 782 times 0,1. 78,2. Right, let's carry on this side. 36 times 0,1. Keep following the pattern. That's 3,6. Nice. 92 times 0,1. 9,2. And then 650 times 0,1. 65. Okay, now we're switching gears. What times 0,1 is going to give me 4,5? What's my input number? 45. Wow, you guys were quick with that one. And what is going to be the input number for 11,6? Yes. Okay. So what we notice is our input number, the decimal place, if we times by 0,1, we're making the number smaller if we times by 0,1. Let's do a little bit more of that just to make sure we all understand. Let's do 3a, 5 times 0,1. What do you get? We can't get the same, guys. If we times 5 by 0,1, look what we did with our flow diagrams. What do we notice? 0,5. There we go. Now 50 times 0,1. What is that? That's 5. And 500 times 0,1. That's 50. Correct. So just look back at the flow diagrams and what we learned there about timesing by 0,1 if you think you might forget. Now let's change it up a bit. What is 5 times 0,2? 5 times 0,2. If 5 times 0,1 is 0,5, what is 5 times 0,2? It's 1. That's right. Because if I'm timesing by 0,1 here to get 0,5, and then I times by 0,2, surely my answer must double, right? So then what is 50 times 0,2 going to be? 50 times 0,2 is going to be 10. That's right. Because here we had 5. So if we now times by 0,2, we get 10. And then 500 times 0,2, I'm sure you see the pattern now, that's 100. Let's do the 0,4 to end off with. 5 times 0,4. Look what we did here. We said 5 times 0,2 is 1. So 5 times 0,4 is going to be, that's right, Unite. It's 2. That's right. Just look back at the previous one. So if 50 times 0,2 is 10, what is 50 times 0,4? 20. Excellent. Look at these beautiful numbers that we're getting. 1, 10, 100, 220. What do you think this last one's going to be? 500 times 0,4 is going to be 200. There we go. Very nice. All right. If you want to play some more with the decimals, you can do it here with question 4. Take a snapshot, screenshot of that. And then you can have another go at these patterns. All right. Right, guys, that is it from me. Well done. That's the term as well.